why I, a woman in my 60s, is going to the Cardi B concert in April. So I went and listened to the um, uh, her mixtape, the first one, Gangsta Bitch Music, Volume 1. And it reminded me again of why I fell in love with Cardi B, or why I began to admire her art. Because let's be clear, Gangsta Bitch Music Volume 1 was a collected work of art. Now, some may say, oh, it's ratchet, oh, it's ghetto, oh, she's, didn't create her own music, her own raps. She had ghostwriters. I don't know, but I think that she wrote the majority of this piece. And even if she didn't, it's about her. And remember, I was telling you about Wash Poppin'? That was a song that I liked. Um, and, as a writer myself, as a creative myself, I admire people who think outside the box. And if you listen to Wash Poppin', it's also very funny, because pretty much Cardi was, from what I believe, this came out in 2016. And, Cardi was either transitioning away from stripping or had already stopped stripping. But that's what she knew. And so, she's saying, I want all you, I want all the men to come out, come with your cash out. She's like, I pull your cash out. Come on, pull your cash out. Because if you're at a strip club and you're a rapper, or, a scammer or a drug dealer, whatever brings you to the strip club, that part of your job is to give the dancers some money. So she's saying, come on now, don't you see this, my big ass bloop and my bloop out? I just think that's hilarious. Call me crazy, call me whatever you want to call me, but I just find the irony in that to be artful, I guess, is very skilled. It's like, hey, why are you here? Don't you see this is why I'm out here dancing? I've got hardly any clothes on. Let's throw the money out. What's popping, baby? Come on now. So I really like that one. And then she has this other one where she's talking about she's a East Coast lit thought. And so, okay, so let me just say something right now. I am not a hip hop head. I'm an R&B girl, woman. I'm from the South. I've always lived in the suburbs. I've never lived in the projects. I've never lived in the country. So I'm not going to be able to speak to the realness of any other group other than the suburb group, okay, because that's what I know. So I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. But what I really love is when people operate out of their, like I said before, authenticity, out of what's real for them. So if I was going to write about something, and things that I have written about have been about my experiences. I had two parents who went to college. I had two parents who encouraged their children to go to college. I can't, there's lots of people in my, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so just about everybody that I knew went to college. So I'm not speaking from, I have no knowledge of what it was like to be in a situation like Cardi B getting kicked out of the house at 18, trying to figure out how to make her own way, and going to work at I believe it was like a drugstore or a five and dime, and then being advised to go up the street to, the strip club. You're a pretty girl, you might be able to make more money that way. And one thing about Cardi is she learned how to get a bag, how to pay her own bills, and how to pursue her art using the money that she brought in, because that's a big part of her story. Yes, she was a stripper. Yes, she, and I want to just say this too about when this is another thing that I admire about Cardi. And I'm not saying that Cardi is, her lifestyle should be followed and that everybody should do the same thing she did. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is she knew that she wanted more than the life that she was in. And she also calculated that in order for her to succeed in the stripper world, she needed to have the proper stripper tools. Now, being a young person at that time, she went ahead and had a breast augmentation, and I believe she started the butt implants journey, but later on she really added even more on, and I don't understand that, but that's neither here nor there. So she knew that she needed those tools to she felt to get more money, so she did that. That's what everybody else was doing, so I can't fault her for that, because she wanted to be the best stripper with the best tools, and that's how she felt that she could succeed. So she was able to afford a very nice life through her stripper funds, and she was able to get studio time and create her art. And another thing too that I admire about her is she really learned early that going participating or engaging with an audience early and frequently and consistently meant that she could expand beyond the strip club arena. So, if she was commenting on the way things looked at her house or what she was doing, or what was happening, she was talking about that constantly on Instagram. So she built up a following, and all of that led to her getting her chance on Love and Hip Hop. And oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say about DJ Self. I know she had the producer Swift, and this is a thing too that I noticed from Love and Hip Hop. Those people, those men, it's not used. Gosh, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's because Swift had a girlfriend, but he still wanted to get with Cardi. But you're supposed to be her producer. She's paying you to help produce her, but you're trying to get in her pants, and you have a girlfriend. DJ Self. She was a very talented person, but all he wanted was to knock this is a very 80s term. Well, let me use I'm just going to say he wanted to sleep with her. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to use her, and wasn't even trying to help promote her. I don't know if that was a part of, just the how they wanted to show him on TV, on the show, because it really didn't make sense that you're promoting Mariah Lynn, although Mariah Lynn is a lovely young woman. Okay, great young woman, but he didn't see the talent. He didn't see the talent that Cardi B had. So I'm laying all this out because I was learning about her whole story, and it drew me in. And plus, she's hilarious. And then I saw where she was guest hosting on various talk shows, and she has this black stylist that really understands how to use fashion to elevate her as an artist and in the public eye. She was having clothes fitted from getting classic vintage Mugler that she's wearing, and when she would go on the talk show, she would wear these really fire suits. And so over time she really made it big. I have to admit, I was down for the romance, and I was between Cardi and Offset, and even though, he had several baby mamas, I was like, okay, well, maybe he's locked in with her. So it's been very sad to hear that that wasn't really the case. And if you've been following Cardi, you know that she does have a very soft heart when it comes to men. Remember, she had that one boyfriend that was in prison for all those years, and thank goodness she realized that it wasn't a good idea to marry him. But I'm not here as a gossip columnist or to continue, talking about any of those things. I'm just sharing the things that drew me into Cardi. Now, let's move forward to Bodak Yellow, her breakout album. Um, that album, was energetic, passionate, and the theme is resilience. It's I'm gonna make my own money. It's I'm confident. It's be careful with me because my love is important, and you don't want to mess with me. I'm trying to tell you, and so it's the type of music that when you're going through something as a woman, you can turn it on and just feel empowered. That's how I used it. I was going through some things myself in the 2020s, during COVID, after COVID, when my mom passed away, when I had a bad breakup. And so, I could listen to that music and just feel like, oh, empowered, little bitch. So, fast forward to now, okay, when she came out with her album that is out now, I was all in. I love that first one where she's using one of Jay-Z's old musical arrangements to, talk about her. Now, here's something that I really felt this song was similar to. It was similar to Ego Tripping by Nikki Giovanni in my mind, because she's just talking about herself and how she's she's been here, there, everywhere. She understands fashion. Everybody's been trying to follow her, but she's been a leader. And it just reminds me of those very powerful writings that Nikki Giovanni wrote about. She was in line with the early rapping women like Lil' Kim, and to a certain extent, well, again, and you got to understand how, Lil' Kim and I meant to find this one out because I can't think of her name to save my life. But she was a very bold R&B singer in my era, and I should have looked it up when I had the opportunity, when I took a break, but and I didn't. I forgot. But there have been bold women in history that have crossed the line and gone through barriers, broken through barriers. You had Moms Mabley, who was a comedian. You had that one singer that was popular. There's that not Latina, but the Caribbean rapper. So these women who are showing a lot of skin, cussing, talking about their sexual prowess, it's nothing new. Okay? So I'm all for it. I guess from what I'm learning about myself, I'm a girl's I guess I'm a girl's girl like Cardi. And I love to see young women express themselves, be strong about it, be unapologetic, and just claim this space. Because people who, I've had friends who've said, well, it's not, these girls think that they can get out here and they can use men and they can do this and that and the other. Well, excuse me, but who started it? Can we go back to gangster rap, NWA, where we had men calling women bitches and hoes? We had women dancing in the background of videos wearing little to nothing, next to nothing. But now that women want to take that image and and use it for empowerment, now the fellas want to say something about it. Guys, come on now. You can't have it both ways. You can't say you can't call women bitches and hoes and then get mad at women for using bitches and hoes in their own songs, but in an empowering way. I don't know. I mean, you just can't do it. So another reason why I got interested in Cardi B, this album that she put out, I find it to be another empowering piece of art. And I was excited when she came out and said, "Hey, I'm having a tour," because this is one thing that as a young person, I didn't go to a lot of concerts. I missed Prince in his prime. I did see Luther Vandross. I saw Tina Marie as a young person. Saw Stevie Wonder as a young person, but I didn't really go to a lot of concerts, and so these are moments in time that we may never have again. Prince is gone. He's not going to tour anymore. Michael Jackson is gone. He's not able to tour anymore. I never saw him in concert. So, um, I want to see this young woman own the stage, and I want to sing along with her because I know a lot of the songs. And so, I'm excited about the concert, and now I want to come back and do a video about what am I going to wear, because Cardi likes to rock these schoolgirl looks. Well, I'm 60. I'm over 60. That school the schoolgirl look has passed to a certain extent, but maybe I can get away with sexy school marm. Think Miss Grundy from the Archie comics, but with a twist. Think Miss. Remember Little Rascals? What was that teacher's name? That they all love, Miss. I can see it, but I can't think of her name. Miss. Oh, it was like a flower or something. But anyway, So I think I'm gonna do sexy school marm for mine. So stay tuned for that video. But again, this is Angela Hagler. I'm a writer. I'm a creative writing instructor, writing coach, and I created the Mama Stories anthology with 12 other fabulous women. And if you want to preserve your mama stories, I have a guide to help you do that. It's in the link. It's a free guide for now. And I want to actually help women write their mama stories one woman at a time. So thank you, and have a great day.